left-hand side, we have the Chinese gardens. It was a gift from the Chinese government in 1988 when we had 200 years to Australia. So Chinatown here on my left-hand side, and there's a very nice way underneath with many shops, restaurants, coffee shop under this bridge. Might have a chance to see the sunrise from the bridge. We're going to cross now the bridge called Anzac. Anzac Bridge is dedicated to the Australian and New Zealand soldiers. Therefore you will see two flags on the top of the bridge. Maybe the people who are sitting on the back won't be seen now, but maybe when we turn right you're able to see the Australian flag and the New Zealand flag later on. On my left hand side we have the Sydney Fish Market. As you can see, very busy. We have auctions in the morning, open 7 days a week, and they have also restaurants. These restaurants open till late. This beautiful suburb on my left hand side is called the Glebe or the Glebe Point. And if you look to the left hand side, let's say 7 o'clock, at the top of the hill is like a castle with two towers. That is Sydney University, located in a place called Newtown. And Newtown King Street is one of the lastest bohemian part of Sydney or maybe Australia. So I like to recommend to visit this place as well.
What was the university called?
Sydney University, University of Sydney. So basically we should go, we go west. The Blue Mountains in the west side of Sydney on my left hand side. Straight ahead we have the top, and it's became like a big meal. That is one of the Aussie dish we like. However, we have also another type of restaurant. We are on vacation, yes. Yes. They have lamb, both. Yeah, both of them have lamb.
Hopefully, yeah. Pagdating natin, ano? Gana lang.
You're a liar, liar. Your heart's on fire, fire. And I'm really alone. Yeah, I'm really alone. You're a liar.
Not for ladies, by the Aboriginal people. There are two different camps. Boys, Lisa, are you okay there, or you want me to come closer? Okay, let's go there. She's afraid of. Well, the good thing is that once we're going down to the rainforest, it won't be windy as windy outside. So hopefully, you know, will be a better way to walk. much easier. Look what they're doing. It's actually searching for worms. And look at the little tiny birds around her. It's called the pioneer bird. So once the big bird clean up, the tiny birds can find their food easily.
There.
There?
Lair.
Okay.
There.
Get home and say that's a liar bird.
Because what they do, the Aboriginal people, they have signature. So they take clay. 7 years ago. That's my signature. From the other end.
Oh, now you can see
Now,
it well.
just before it became too cold, I want to take the sunlight. It's made the moist stays longer than normal. Does that make sense? So if you look carefully, you see that the color of the trees change from this point over there, because the eucalyptus tree is more like a grayish green color, but if you look down to the bottom, it's all green. And by the way, if you look straight ahead, you see the kakadu over there? Used to be the most famous lookout we have in the mountains. It's called the Wolf. In the 1970s, rocks fell off. Remember we said that by the years, many rocks falling down. Every day we have rocks down, falling. And so now is no longer access to the lookout there. We still have this handrail. Can you see the handrail?
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yes, that's it. We cannot reach there. We need to do a rock climber to reach this area, but you're not allowed, obviously. 3 sisters or 7 sisters by the Aboriginal people, basically, will be on your left-hand side. And this rock here on the front of us, it's called the Mangmu, or the Mount Solitary. Mangmu is an Aboriginal word for a giant egg of emu. Emu is a big bird that we have here. Jefferson Valley is, well, in the area of the Gandhigara people. The women's side is the 3 sisters, men's side is the Mangmu, so as the other place that we were before, it's called the Tableland. Any more pictures? Anyone need help with the picture?
It is, yeah. So feel free to stand on it. Stand on it? Yeah.
So the bottom. So it's not like open glass.
Well, please ask.
30 minute ride. 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Right. Oh, I wish, no. Shorter than that. So take a look down at your feet first of all. It's now gone clear. So coming up at our highest point, we're 270 metres above the valley floor, so very high up, twice the height of the Harbour Bridge. Put it in perspective, or a 7-second drop if you want to drop the phone down. Don't recommend, but. And then we can see Katuba Falls on this side of the cabin here. So it's one of the biggest waterfalls here in the mountains, and it's never run dry in all of history. Fed by these underground aquifers, and it makes up some of our drinking water here as well because of that. So if you look, it flows down into a river. Drinking water makes up some of Sydney's water here. Yeah.
Uminom ka na ng tap water.
And there's also another
Nagbawas sa clean nga.
It's a baby waterfall about 12 meters high. Yeah, big glare, but it is there. And then we've got the Jamison Valley on the left-hand side of the cabin. So of course the 3 sisters, that iconic landmark of the Blue Mountains. They think there was between 5 and 7 sisters. And we can see close to 100 kilometres into the distance as well on a clear day like today. So we've got really incredible views. And we've also got Orphan Rock over here, that sandstone pillar over there. You can see the railings and stairs there. It used to be the most popular lookout here in the mountains in the 1900s, but there's a big hole in the middle that you might be able to see. They closed that one down in 1974. There was a mudslide took out the entrance points, so do not climb it. You pop a pretty hefty fine, and they think it's going to like completely erode away within 50 years as well. Okay, so there might be a few little bumps as we walk in. You guys just. The rest of us will be enjoying a 220-minute descent down to the Jamison Valley, making it the steepest cable car in the southern hemisphere. Max, I'm sure you just love to learn about that now.
2, 3, 1, and go.
I can get on a roller coaster.
Great views this morning. Left-hand side, you've got the iconic Three Sisters over there. Now they do have individual names. Left to right is Me Nine, Twin Luck, Gully 2. Yeah, feel free to walk around the cabin. At the front of the cabin, if you look out across the valley, there are some people even camp at the top. And if you look down below, there's a lot of broccoli looking trees. It's the rainforest area you're about to explore. Now we do have 3 boardwalks. Down here there's a 10-minute boardwalk, a 30-minute and a 50-minute. All of them lead to the bottom railway station. Now the 10-minute walk, very flat, easy, about 400 metres past the Sweden Railway. The other 2 are on the side of a hill, so it's a bit, so you start off with a few slopes and switchbacks down. And then at the end there's a set of 65 stairs to get back up to the railway, just keep that in mind. But I do recommend those longer boardwalks. There aren't too many people down the valley yet. So hopefully you get all these all little birds will come out and greet you. Currently have some of the lyrebirds trying to attract a girlfriend. They're doing their song.
Developed special skills and became like a tall tree. Over here we find the tallest ferns in the world. We call it the rough tree fern. So basically you can feel it and see why we call it, because it's a rough trunk. Maybe the most famous fern in this area in Oceania will be the silver fern, which is in New Zealand. The leaves has the color of a silver, so it's reflecting in the sun. It's very nice to see them. But again, we have 1,500 type of ferns around the world. Most of them are very short. We have different names. I cannot name all of them, but just in this area we have the silver fern, which is in New Zealand. We have red fern, we have king's fern, we have coal ferns, we have rough tree fern. We have all different types of ferns. Yeah, but the local like to call these ferns the dinosaur food. That's because it's, you know, the dinosaur time, that was the main food of the dinosaur. So these trees are originally from Antarctica, nearly 300 million years ago. When the continent was disconnected, it spread all over. So this prehistoric tree has no flowers or no fruit. It all has spore or spora, so they can spread very easily with the light wind or just a light rain. All right?
You can see straight above us. It came tumbling down and it took out all of the trees in its way. Luckily for us, it did happen at night, so nobody was injured when it did collapse, when it did fall down. The only thing that was injured was the old path that was really taken out, which you can see underneath the rock. All of these trees and all of this greenery throughout the forest
and drums. Last year we had a family from Singapore, which is, you know, they lost. I know you confused me now again. I have to tell you a story, okay?
The Y can be pronounced different ways. Correct.
Okay, I tell you why. English is my second language, and I never went to university to study English or either my profession. I learned it for word of mouth. Sometimes I can mispronounce it. For nearly 2 years, 16 years ago, I worked here, and we talk about a special tree called the black boy, and now it's called the grass tree because of the political correct. Now, this tree, the grass tree, has a very tall flower. It's like a spear. And guess what? For 2 years, I'm holding the spear, and they said, you know why they call it the black boy? Because of the sperm. You're laughing now, and I'm laughing too. 2 years, English people never say a word. And I'm continuing with this sperm, holding and show everyone the sperm of the black boy. Can you imagine that?
No.
This is the joke in my family, and my kids are laughing. I mean, you know, it's happened. And only 2 years later, 2 young ladies from England, they were like backpackers, and they were straightforward and laughed like you guys. I mean, I would laugh too. I mean, like, what all the respect to tour guide, like, talking about, you know, this. I said, I knew that something is wrong with my pronunciation, like the layer or the liar. And I mean, I'm not lying you. I mean, I'm telling you the layer's story, the real story. And they said, listen, it's not. You need to say spear. And then I said spear. Sorry, I said spare for another, I don't know, year or so. And then I realized it's a spear, not a spare. Spare word. Anyway, layer, Francis? Layer, Francis? Layer?
It could be
liar.
Liar?
It could be liar.
So Y can go
Because
long or
LYE
short.
is lie.
There's two
I'll
different
Google
ways
it tonight.
I think it could be Lear.
Okay.
But I think there'd be some locals that could correct you.
You know, you cannot understand their accents.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
It's so hard. It's
Siri.
so hard.
Siri, how do you say LYR? Yeah.
What did the other guides call it?
Amy? I don't know.
What did she
I'll ask
call it?
Amy. Not very greeny, no trees. They ruined the whole area. And if you look at the map here, that's underground city. Wow. Can you imagine? We have nearly 100 kilometers of tunnel in this area.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
So if you want to work here, at natural size, as you can see, very small. They've always been in dark, so they lost their vision. Another thing is that some of these horses, at the beginning, they didn't want to go into it because they're afraid of the dark. So at that time, the people there. Yeah, so how many of you have been to a touristic site and you see this braille sign? No.
Just not.
Well, I know in one place, in Bruges, in Belgium, they have, but generally speaking, they don't.
To the train. Cold. Yes. Like, okay, let's listen. That's what we were saying, yeah.
Yeah. The call here. Charles Darwin came here to Australia when? In 19th century. We said that in the bus, right? We know that Charles Darwin was in 19th century, obviously. And he found some seashell. And the seashell was from here all the way to the top. And that means that this area, from here to the top, to the car park, was actually the bottom of inland sea.
Yeah.
And then everything raised up. Now, to find coal in many places in the world, we need to dig very deep because the layer is going up and down in the mountains. But over here is the tableland. So the whole area, not actually bent, but all up, right? And looks like someone has a big knife and cut it for us. It looks like layers, layers and layers, like a cake with many colors. And every colors represent time. Millions and millions of years to get to this point. So if we're saying that is about 400 million years, way before that we have huge forests in this area. Maybe big lakes, maybe dinosaur, I don't know, what was it? But this forest sinks slowly and covered by the water. Millions of years pressing down, took the mineral from above, but pressed down the water, the rainforest or the forest we had there. And this is what we have. This forest became about this high and goes all the way to the other side of the Blue Mountains. So till today, the coal mining is one of the strongest income of the Blue Mountains. Yes, we use a lot of coal for energy here. So some fans, so basically they
Welcome aboard. I'm going to close up the gates on the right hand side here, so just remain in your seats please and keep your hands, feet, jacket bags, etc. away from the doors. Here they come. Doors closing.
Hindi, ayan, naglawan pala.
Oh, we're gonna have some sun, maybe.
All right, welcome everyone. My name is Liam. I'm the driver at the back of the train. I'm going to take you back to the top station of Scenic World right now. Just a quick reminder before have fun. See you at the top.
Nasusuka ako sa lobby. Ha? Nasusuka na ako sa lobby. Sa lobby? Bakit? Ay, kaya. Nahihirapan ako.
Welcome back everybody to the top platform of Scenic World. When the train comes to a complete stop, I will open up doors on the left-hand side. And yes, please exit up the stairs.
Grabe, hindi ko in-expect yun.
It's called flower. And these flowers are the same type of tree. We call it a Banksia tree. Sir Joseph Banks was a botanist. Is any one of you want to go to the bus to get warm? And are you okay with me? Okay, cool. So, Sir Joseph Banks was a botanist and he named many of the trees and flowers here in Australia. He was a rich guy. He came with Captain Cook and he discovered this special tree. This is one of the trees that they need fire to regenerate. The only way for this tree to reproduce or to continue is with fire. And why is that? If you look, come over here. If you look very close, you see there is seed pods, right? This seed pod has seed inside. The seed pod will open only once we have fire. Only while we have high temperature. They will crack and the seed will fly down to the ground because they have wings. Every seed has 2 wings. Now, think about this special world. We have fire. All the bush will dry and burn, right? And the ground will be with a lot of ashes, is fertilized. Then these seeds will, the seed pod will open up and the seed will fly down to the fertilized, rich soil.
Wow.
Make sense? Now, the Aboriginal people who've been here for so many years, they understand that most of the trees will get burned and only this seed pod protecting the seed from the fire, so called a fire resist. When we said fire resist, think about pine wood or hardwood. Pine wood will get very, very fast, burning, and hardwood will stay longer. So think about is hardwood. So this hardwood protecting the seeds. So they understand that they can use it for them. Now, the Aboriginal people, or here in Australia, we don't have the flint, we don't have these rocks to create fire. They cannot make the spark. The only way for them is to take 2 sticks and try to get fire. Any one of you try to do that in the Scouts? No. I tried many times, I burned myself, never make a fire. And this is in a very dry day. Think what's happened when we have rain or moist, you never make any fire with the sticks. You need to have this flint. So they need to find a way to keep the fire 24/7 because they need the fire for cooking. I don't know.
Si Sige nga, i-summarize mo.
Oh, thank you so much. You love me.
May size yung mga ano. Parang hindi nakaaya-aya.
Anong binuksan?
Ayan.
Barely curry.
Ito, mas parang mas lasa curry. Parang
Mas curl lang ang curry pa yung kinakain natin gagawin. Ito na ang lunch nila. Payo tsaka mashed potato.